Hello everybody and good afternoon. My name's Don Arleth and you're watching World News, coming to you live from Warsaw. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and European leaders will brief U.S. President Donald Trump on potential ceasefire talks on Wednesday. The virtual huddle will come days before the American leader is scheduled to visit or to meet with Vladimir Putin in Alaska to broker a hopeful ceasefire deal with Ukraine. Ukraine's Air Force reports intercepting 59 of 71 drones launched overnight with... The aim of the virtual call on Wednesday, spearheaded by German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, is to coordinate negotiations to end the war in Ukraine, a German government spokesperson said. Leaders from Finland, France, the UK, Italy, and Poland are slated to be in attendance. The spokesperson said, adding that the officials will discuss options to increase pressure on Russia. The sequence of steps in a possible peace process and future of the territories occupied by Russia, as well as security guarantees for Ukraine. The call on Wednesday comes 2 days after foreign affairs ministers from the 27 EU member states discussed shoring up support for Zelenskyy at an emergency online meeting. Wednesday's huddle with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in attendance will also serve as a precursor to the scheduled summit between Trump and Putin in Alaska on Friday. Trump has said that the parties to the war were close to a deal that could resolve the years-long conflict. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has warned Russia against getting the idea it can change other countries' borders with quote-unquote impunity. He made the comments during a speech at Poland's Nitro-Chem explosives manufacturing plant. He also repeated the call for no deals about Ukraine to be made without Ukraine present at the negotiating table.
For Poland and our European partners, and I hope for all of NATO too, it must be clear that you cannot change borders with force. Russia's war on Ukraine cannot benefit Moscow because it's the aggressor. It is absolutely crucial to us for Russia to understand that the West, including European countries, will not accept Russian demands that simply amount to the seizure of Ukrainian territory. We all know, and this has been confirmed by the US and other NATO allies, that Russia will pose a challenge or even a threat to the region, including Poland, over the next few years. Which is why we cannot allow for Russia to leave this conflict stronger and thinking it's allowed to breach borders and annex territories with impunity, and the world will just stand idly by.
In Ukraine, at least 7 civilians have been killed and 49 more wounded in Russian attacks over the past 24 hours, regional officials report. The strikes targeted multiple regions and involved massive overnight drone assaults. Ukraine's Air Force reports intercepting 59 of 71 drones launched overnight, with 12 hitting 6 locations. In Zaporizhia, 22 people were wounded when glide bombs struck a bus station and a clinic. Strikes in Dnipropetrovsk, Donetsk, Kharkiv regions killed 4 and wounded 19, including children. The deadliest attacks hit the Kherson region, leaving 4 dead and 7 wounded and damaging dozens of homes. The assaults come as Moscow continues to reject an unconditional ceasefire and escalate drone strikes on civilian areas. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has warned that concessions to Russia will not end the war, urging the international community to ramp up pressure on the Kremlin. Zelenskyy also said that Russia launched more than 1,000 aerial bombs and nearly 1,400 combat drones against Ukraine over the past week alone.
Over this same period, the past week, the Russians have used more than 1,000 aerial bombs and nearly 1,400 attack drones against Ukraine. Missile strikes also continue. We are defending the lives of our people and strengthening our air defenses. This is what the situation in the war looks like, and the situation in diplomacy must correspond accordingly. Russia is dragging out the war, and therefore it deserves stronger global pressure. Russia refuses to stop the killings, and therefore must not receive any rewards or benefits. And this is not just a moral position, it's a rational one. Concessions do not persuade a killer, but truly strong protection of life stops the killers.
On Sunday, a Ukrainian drone strike hit the Lukoil Ukhta oil refinery in Russia's Komi Republic, which supplies Russian forces with fuel.
On August 10th, a Ukrainian drone strike hit the Lukoil Ukhta oil refinery in Russia's Komi Republic, which supplies Russian forces with fuel. The oil refinery, located on Russian territory, approximately 2,000 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, was the site of Kyiv's first confirmed drone strike in the region. Part of a special operation by Ukraine's military intelligence, the attack targeted a petroleum tank, causing a spill and damaging a gas processing plant. Russian authorities said that workers were evacuated from the drone's path and that there were no casualties. This follows a previous strike on a refinery in Russia's Saratov region on August 10th, which resulted in explosions and a large fire.
According to the Estonian media outlet Delfi, GPS jamming over the Baltic states and the Gulf of Finland is being caused by a secret military complex in the Kaliningrad region, designed to analyze satellite and other forms of communications between NATO countries. The equipment at the facility can also generate potentially dangerous signal interference.
According to secret Russian documents obtained by the Estonian news service, the base in Pionersky is part of the strategic Tobol electronic warfare network. It includes several surveillance, defense, and command systems. Its purpose is to protect Russian satellite communication and navigation systems, but also weaken the intelligence activities of NATO countries. The generated interference can be directed not only at satellite positioning systems, such as GPS and Galileo, but also at the Starlink satellite communications system.
These border controls have proven useful, making Poland safe in the face of illegal migration, Polish Interior Minister Marcin Kierwiński has said during a visit to the Świnoujście-Gars border crossing on Monday. Temporary checks have been reinstated on Poland's borders with Germany and Lithuania on July 7th.
28 people were refused entry onto Polish soil. This really shows that these controls make a lot of sense. In total, over 570,000 checks have been carried out at our borders with both Germany and Lithuania. As you know, the controls have been extended until October 4th. Around mid-September, we will make a decision on what comes next.
Polish law enforcement is investigating the appearance of banned Ukrainian nationalist symbols at a concert in Warsaw. The black and red flag of the Ukrainian insurgent army raised by the crowd at a Belarusian rapper's performance has sparked controversy here in Poland.
Polish police say that the appearance of the flag is being investigated and that relevant evidence has already been sent to the prosecutor's office. Ukrainian insurgent army symbols are banned under Polish law, as the organization played a central role in the 1943-1944 Volhynian massacre, in which tens of thousands of Poles were killed by Ukrainian nationalists. Rapper Max Korsh is popular with both Ukrainians and Belarusians, and the tickets to his show in Warsaw sold out in minutes. Polish law enforcement arrested over 100 people at his Saturday performance for a range of offenses, including possession of drugs and pyrotechnic devices, violation of the bodily integrity of security personnel, as well as trespassing on event premises.
And that concludes this edition of World News. Do stay tuned, though, because the bottom line with Marie Cato is coming up next.